All right, we're talking Bronny James, JJ Redick, and player development. At a recent press conference where the LA Lakers introduced their draft picks, Dalton Knecht and Bronny James, Coach JJ Redick talked about player development. You can hear that clip now.
Bronny talks about his hard work. Bronny has earned this through hard work. And for us, prioritizing player development, we view Bronny as like case study one, because his base level of feel, athleticism, point of attack defender, shooting, passing, there's a lot to like about his game. And as we sort of build out our player development program holistically, he's going to have a great opportunity to become an excellent NBA player.
All right. So when I heard this, I was like, oh, snap, we're talking about player development. Let's go. As some of you all know, my name is Ed Jones. I'm the founder of Beyond the Field, and I talk about player development on this channel. Not only do I talk about player development, but I help people create impactful player development plans. I define player development as the enhancement of the athlete experience through holistic and intentional programming and initiatives. And so when I saw this clip kind of making its rounds around social media, shout out to Reggie Calhoun, I saw it from him. I was like, yo, they talking player development. Let's go. Let me dive deeper into what this could be. There's one word you heard in the clip that JJ said, which is holistic. And if I go back to the definition of player development as I define it, the enhancement of the athlete experience through holistic and intentional programming and initiatives, that really just got me going, because he used the word holistic. He talked about player development. And my understanding, I did it for 6 years at the college football level, at the University of Houston, University of Kansas, and Baylor football. And I've helped people for the last 4 years in this role. 63% of Division I football programs I've provided value for. Let's go. But as I understand basketball player development, I've always seen it as skill development. And so when I heard him say holistic, I was like, yo, let's go. And it's awesome he mentioned that about Bronny, because Bronny's dad, LeBron James, is one of, when you look at the definition I have for player development, LeBron James is like the example of that. So I break down player development in the Beyond the Field program into 3 areas: personal wellness, community impact, and career development. So what I know from LeBron, just from watching his career, you've heard him say multiple times, he's more than an athlete. He has not settled for the narrative of shut up and dribble. Y'all remember that? LeBron James has always valued and put effort and investment into him being more than just an athlete. So if we look at the 3 areas that the Beyond the Field program has, which is personal wellness, community impact, and career development, I can think about 3 things just off the top of my head. I saw something going around about LeBron James meditating before games, right? His personal wellness, getting his mind right. He takes care of his body. There is well-documented stories about how well he takes care of his body. I mean, you can't play that long in the league without taking care of your body. Like, let's be serious. But he takes care of his person, the meditating before games. I mean, LeBron is a player, and we got to give him his flowers. Like, to do what he does at the age he's at and how long he's done it. Like, I saw a stat. He is averaging the same amount of points and rebounds as he did his rookie year. Like, this is, I think, over 20 years in the league. Like, this is crazy. And so he values that. The second pillar of the Beyond the Field program is community impact. And whenever I think about LeBron's community impact, I always think the first thing that comes to my mind is the I Promise School in Akron, Ohio. You always hear him say he's a kid from Akron, but to see what he's provided the people in his hometown, just providing them experiences they may not have gotten on their own. Free schooling, scholarships, partnerships with local universities, partnerships with, local companies or organizations to help parents out, get jobs, get career training. That's incredible. Like, how many people are that great on the court and also invest in the same or even more off the court? And so once again, when it comes to player development and being more an athlete, LeBron's up there, like, goated. And then the last one is career development. That's the last pillar of the Beyond the Field player development program framework. And when I think career development, I think about the first thing that comes to my mind is the shop. How LeBron has invested his investments. I know he's invested in soccer. Some of y'all see it as football. But he's invested in teams. He's invested in, media. So let's go back to the shop. Like, that is not just, I show up. Like, that is entrepreneurial. LeBron's entrepreneurial just spirit, action, and investments have been incredible. And so we look at that, I'm like, man, Bronny has a great foundation of someone who has done it for a long time. So when I think about that for Bronny and thinking about like the example he's seen his entire life of his dad, his father being incredible on and off the court, and just the emphasis of the off the court development that his dad has just been an example, and even championed other players and brought in other athletes from other sports to join him. It's incredible. Even with all that and all that Bronny has seen his father do, I think about him and his own player development. So, when I think about, JJ saying holistically, what are they going to do personal wellness? He's seen it all, but is there something else that he wants to do on the personal wellness side? Is there something in the community he wants to do? Because, he's lived in different places around the country. Is there a certain city that he wants to make an impact, and then career development? Is there a path that Bronny wants to go down? Is it similar to what his dad does, or does he want to do something different? And so as I hear JJ Redick talk about this holistic player development plan, which gets me super excited. When I was in the role of director of player development, I would tell our coaches that this player development plan is customizable to each player on our team based off the interest that they have. So we would have players that were interested in real estate. We had players that were interested in entrepreneurships. We had players that were interested in media. We had players that were interested in being working in, some type of public service, like whatever it may be. You have that program that is customized for everybody there. So as the Lakers are doing it, I'm excited to hear JJ Redick talk about it. I know they will figure it out. And Lakers, if y'all need any help with that, with plans not only for Bronny, but for all the players on your team, G League, whatever it may be, hit your boy up. I'll be there. We can make it happen. And so as I was preparing for this video, I actually was going through the conference to get the video so I could put it in here. And I actually came upon JJ Redick speaking even more about what his player development program looks like. And when he uses holistic or says holistic player development, he dives in deeper to that. I was like, yo, let's go. So I was just going to end it with like, man, hopefully, they're going to take care of Bronny. He's got a great example in his father. It's always great to hear a head coach talk about holistic player development. It's always great to see an organization get behind it. But then I was doing my research and found out, JJ Redick then told us the entire holistic game plan in the sense of what he wants to do. We're going to watch and listen to this clip and hear what he says holistic player development will look like for the Los Angeles Lakers.
At least initially, what do you envision what that player development program will look like specifically for Dalton and Bronny? Yeah, I think just in general, the player development program we're trying to build is holistic. I think oftentimes when people talk about player development, they talk about ball handling and shooting and passing, and certainly the mechanics of playing basketball are an important part of player development. But it's also tactical. It's about reads. It's about incorporating film, incorporating analytics. We will hopefully in the next few days or a couple weeks hire a director of player development program that sees my vision. It's nutrition. It's how you take care of your body, your work in the weight room. There's also, I think, a big part of player development, and it's for someone who has lived in this league a long time. A big part of this is the mental development and all the ups and downs that come.
So one thing that was pretty interesting off the rip when I listened to it is we both agree. Like I was like, yeah, whenever I hear basketball, I see their player development is more skill based. He brought up skills, ball handling, things like that. But he brought up some things in his speech. He said, his player development will be, he sees holistic player development as also being tactical, knowing your basketball reads, film, analytics, nutrition, taking care of your body, the weight room, and mental development. Now, those first four, tactical, reads, film, analytics, those are more basketball on-court things. Now, I've been around those when I was in the role, but that wasn't necessarily me helping, players, get developed. But when he talks about nutrition, the body, weight room, so the combination of the two, and the mental development, I have a podcast right here that talks about the 10 people you need to know in the player development role. And during that, I talked about the nutritionist or the dietitian, the strength staff. I talked about, the different people that work in the mental health space, because whenever I was in player development, there was a group, and I worked in college football, there were a group of people who spent the most time around the players. There was me as director of player development. It was our strength staff, our dietitian, the sports med, of course. We had academics, the equipment, and then you had, your mental health services that were there as well. And so it's interesting hearing Coach Redick talk about, these 4 areas of his holistic player development program, because these were, when I was the director of player development, these were some of the people I leaned on the most. I was having conversations every single day with the dietitian. I was having conversations every single day with the strength staff. I was having conversations, periodically throughout the week with our mental health professionals. And so it's awesome to see that, he is incorporating that holistic aspect. I am a big believer, and I cannot be steered. I will not be steered, that the off the field, off the court, outside of competition development of an athlete will help the on the field, on the court, in competition, performance and product that the player gives or the team has overall. So it's incredible hearing JJ Redick talk about player development, holistic player development early in the press conference, and when someone asks a question, him circle back and talk about it. Now, shout out to whoever he's going to hire in a couple weeks. Once again, Los Angeles Lakers, if y'all need help finding that person, I'm here to help. But I'm really excited. It's great to hear coaches talk about player development. It's great to, see, LeBron in the league being a great example to other players, and seeing all these other players who are doing a lot of stuff off the field. So it's great for me, a person who's super passionate, a player development nerd. I am a player development nerd. It's great to see all this happening at a high level, and hearing coaches that are coming new to the game, specifically a coach like JJ Redick, who played in the league and saw these gaps, and is saying, you know what, when I get a chance, I'm going to have a holistic player development department because I don't want these gaps to continue to happen. It's great to see that. Now, this may be your first time here, and I want to say thank you so much for coming. If you learned anything new about player development, please hit the like button, please subscribe, and please share this video. I help people create player development plans. And so what I do is I break down a lot of what people want to do, and we minimize it and make it into an impactful plan. So a lot of people may come to me and say, hey, I want to impact student athletes or athletes overall. What does that look like? And they're like, we could do this, we could do this. And they have a whole bunch of things, and we narrow it down and make a plan. I want to help you. There's a link in the show notes where you can fill out, it says player development plan. Fill out that link, get a survey. I'll reach out to you. We'll make it happen. I also have a free workshop that is coming up. You can fill that link out as well. It's coming up here in July. Can't wait. Live workshop. I also have it recorded, but want to help you learn more about player development. Thank you so much for being here. And while you are here, check out this video that talks about what player development is. And then check out this video that has the 10 essential questions you must ask yourself before you get into player development. Now, as I always say, go out and create generational impact. Don't wait. Create that generational impact today. Let me know if you learned anything in the comments, and let me know, any questions you have about player development. JJ, Coach Redick, Bronny, LeBron, Dalton, Rob Pelinka, Lakers. If y'all see this, please reach out. Really excited that y'all are taking care of the players, the people in your franchise, your organization, taking care of the holistic development. Let's go. Player development win, baby.